I just have one question. What did black women do to black men that was so bad? What do we do historically that was so bad?
Stole our children and used them as...
Okay, it looks like this is on World Star Hip Hop. Okay, so we start out with a problem. Why the hell are you on the internet asking and beseeching people to tell you what did black women do to black men that was so bad? We all went through the same passage to get here. We, on the other hand, had other sets of traumas and violence enacted upon us because we are womb holders, that we are keepers of the womb. First of all, it was black men who sold us into enslavement. It was them. And then 400 years later, you coming out on the internet trying to ask the very same people who are enacting all of these tragedies against us, what is it that we did to them? Girl, are you serious? And then this man is going to come out with an answer that is going to give her exactly what it is that she was looking for. Because when you open yourself up begging, weeping and gnashing at the teeth, trying to get some answers from these people who don't care, you're going to see what's going to happen. Let's hear him now.
That was so bad.
Stole our children and used them as pawns for child support. You embarrass us on the daily by not dressing modestly. You talk about our mothers when we disagree with your behavior. You call us homosexual when we assert our masculinity. You lie on us to the world by telling them that we unalive you every 5.5 hours.
Oh, what? What? Oh my God. What? That's a lie? Oh my goodness. Let's go to the FBI. FBI data. Black women every 4, let's see. Look, FBI data, at least 4 black women and girls were M-worded per day in the U.S. last year. This came out during the pandemic, and FBI data is corroborating this. This is what the FBI is saying. And so this man is saying that this is a lie. The FBI is reporting these of real life deaths. Look, do you see this word right here? FBI. Do you see that? Go look it up for yourself. This article, what year did this article come out? You can Google it yourself. This article probably came out in 2022 or 2023. So at least 4 black women and girls were unalive per day in the U.S. And the number, they say, has gone up since then. Why is he saying that this is a lie and he's hollering and screaming, looking as sassy as can be, and saying that they're called gay when they assert their masculinity? No, well, I mean, gay men are man-loving, so there could be some truth to that, that if you feel that your masculinity makes you holler at women and hug up and couple up on the backs of men, scooping them or spooning them, however you want to put it, there could be something very, at least, homosocial about you. Let's not play that game. But the nerve of him to be like, that's a lie, so that he's on the internet screaming and pretending as if the data is not the data, this is really frightening, honestly.
You call the police on us and get us thrown in prison or jail more than anybody else. You disrespect us when we try to bring together our families, which is what you did when you brought up Kevin Samuels in your video. You claim that...
There's just so much. I'll let it play and then I'll stop it on the way back because there's just so much in here that needs to be responded to.
We're trash and deadbeat fathers even though we are the most involved in our children's lives.
That study was debunked.
You always talking about how we bash you, but you never bring up the videos of us doing so. What you would rather do is just say it and then act like the videos we do post about you aren't about your behavior, mannerisms, and characteristics that we wish would change.
So black men are supposed to post videos about black women, about the mannerisms and characteristics that they wish would change. And then who are these black women? Why are you not going into the neighborhoods to create real change among the up and coming? Who are you talking about? What types of black people? What's the class, the socioeconomic status of the black people that you're talking about?
Now you are acting like a victim, crying to us. because we're verbally telling you something.
So now you see, so he throws that right back in her face. Now you on the internet acting like a victim. Black women are victims to black men each and every day. Talking about we call the police on you more than any other group. Black women are unalived at a rate almost 3 times that of other races. Like, come on, the police needs to be called more, as a matter of fact. I don't understand.
Now, I'll admit, some of us ain't shit, but most of us are. Chill out with the pity.
You see this? Some of us ain't S, but most of us are. No, sir. Are you the most that's on here screaming lies on the damn internet that you don't even take the time to look up the data? You're just screaming out foolishness? Are you one of the ones that are SHIT or ain't SHIT? Tell me. Huh?
I just have one question. What did black women do to black men that was so bad? What do we do historically that was so bad?
Stole our children and used them.
Who stole what children? You were in the United States of America, patriarchy built on misogyny, and the courts are run mainly by men. Any man that doesn't have his children is because he hasn't done the things that he needs to do to get his children and be in his children's lives. Nobody stole children. You cannot steal children. Kidnapping is against the law. Go to court. You got all this money, right, to be traveling over the passports, right? You got all this money for that, but you don't have money to go to court to be with your children. And then who did you choose to have children with that would do something like that? You chose poorly, sir. You're supposed to be the leader, right? Who did you choose? Go to court and get your kids.
Them as pawns for child support. You embarrass us.
Child support? Child support ain't hitting on nothing. The average child support that's paid, that's awarded in this country is around, what, $200 a month? And almost half of the people who are ordered to pay child support don't even pay. So it's like these men look at the news reports of these wealthy people who are getting thousands of dollars of child support imposed upon them so that their child can live a lifestyle in accordance with what the father can afford. And they are supplanting that onto themselves even though they're broke and their child support is $16 a month. It costs much more to care for a child than the amount that is awarded to the average person in this country in child support. And it's like these men won't go and get their children because I am sure, listen, years ago, I knew a young lady who had given birth to a child and the father skipped out. And she said, you know what, I can't go to work. And I have to find a babysitter. The amount that sometimes going out to work is fruitless because the amount that I make going out to work doesn't cover the cost of childcare. She said, I wish my child's father would take the child so that I can go out there and work. I will gladly pay him child support. Why don't you get your child and then you receive child support so that you could get the $200 a month and see whether or not that covers clothes, whether or not that covers a decent place to live in a school district that's worth a damn, whether that covers shoes because a child grows out of their clothes every 6 months, whether that covers them needing things for their school supplies, field trips, haircuts and hairdos, that they have to go to the doctor, the insurance. See whether or not the $200 in child support a month covers that, especially when it comes to child care, so that the mother can go out and work because $200 a month is not going to cover rent. Why don't you get your children and let her work and pay you child support? Do it that way because they can't and they won't. They don't want to. They just want to be up on the internet screaming. This man looks so abusive. If this man started hollering near me, I would put my head down and try to get the F away from him. I would not feel safe near this human being. Go ahead and thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel.
On the daily by not dressing modestly. You talk about our mothers when we disagree.
Someone is embarrassing you on the daily by not dressing modestly. Who the F are you that some stranger is supposedly some embarrassment to you, so you feel you got dominion of somebody else's body out there? What about in the bush in Africa where the women are walking around topless? Is that immodest so that the men are supposedly embarrassed? Why are you concerning yourself with the agency and free will of a person that you know nothing about, that you have no tie or connection to, that you're embarrassed on the daily because another human being that you don't know dare dress in a way that you don't approve of? What about that all this damn hair on your face? What if there's somebody out there that don't like all that damn hair and talking about, I am upset with you because you got this damn nappy ass looking beard on your face? Does that make sense? But trust, I have no problem. Listen, I love natural hair. I just use that as an example. But I'm just saying, what if I felt that people should be clean shaven and I'm like, look at you, this is why this is happening to you because you got all this fur on your face? Unbelievable.
Agree with your behavior. You call us homosexual when we assert our masculinity.
Look at him. Would you trust him to be near you in any capacity? Honestly. If someone is calling you a homosexual, it's probably because you seem man-loving. You think this man like women? Do you think this man right here likes women? If you think he does, put up a 1. If you know he doesn't, put up a 0. He doesn't like women. He may be sexually attracted to women, perhaps. But I can guarantee you he doesn't like women. No.
You lie on us to the world by telling them that we unalive you every 5.5 hours.
Data shows that your complaint is a lie. Listen.
You call the police on us and get us thrown in prison or jail more than anybody else.
I don't know whether or not that's true, but if you look at the data of the violence that black men are enacting on black women and each other. In 2020, a black man was killed by another black man almost once an hour. Let me say that again. In 2020, a black man was unalived by another black man almost once an hour. It was 23 per day. More police need to be called. Stop this, not less.
You disrespect us when we try to bring together our families, which is what you did when you brought up Kevin Samuels in your...
Kevin Samuels wasn't trying to bring families together. And just the mere mention of Kevin Samuels' name is disrespectful to you. Kevin Samuels was abusive. He was verbally and psychologically abusive, and he played slap sounds when women were talking, conditioning men to the sound of a slap in relation to women. He would put up whip sounds, slap sounds, and call women all types of bitches. And he would denigrate them and tell them how they weren't good enough. And men sat there in a schadenfreude arena cheering him on and paying him handsomely to do so. You goddamn right we'll bring up his name, even to this day. And if there's anybody here who has a problem with that, please let me know you have a problem with it, and I'll take care of you right now. But I bet you won't. Look at his face. He doesn't even want you talking about Kevin Samuels. People have a right to talk about whoever the hell it is that they want to. Kevin Samuels wasn't about family. He kept trying to slide it in there, a world without women, and just men with one another, and how men together. This effeminate man in his tight jeans and childbearing hips, imagining a world where men are together and there are no women to take from their resources. Listen, most gardening that is done by women. We can grow our own food, and without the threat of violence of men, if there were no men on this earth and women had to reproduce via parthenogenesis, it would be a very peaceful world without the violence enacted by men. We know that the Y chromosome is a broken X. Oh, let me just finish this up so that we could get through this.
Video. You claim that we're trash and deadbeat fathers, even though we are the most involved in our children's lives.
There was a study that was done by the CDC of which about 3,000 men were surveyed. It doesn't say how many black men were surveyed. And the study did not report on what it saw. It used the reporting from the men and what they said. And the very few black men that participated in the study claimed that they were oh so active. And then they used that as fact. That study was already debunked. We can see from the neighborhoods who are not involved fathers. We can see from how the community is that they are not involved fathers. But a few men scratched their little nuts together and filled out a survey, self-reported, and now all of a sudden these men in the manosphere are taking this for truth. Unbelievable.
You always talking about how we bash you, but you never bring up the videos of us doing so.
We never bring up the videos of you all doing so. You said that women needed to keep Kevin Samuels' name out their damn mouth. Kevin Samuels was the basher. Fresh and Fit bashes. There are many podcasts all over the internet that bash. In 2012, it was the heyday. Sergeant Willie Pete, does that sound familiar to you? Thomas Sotomayor, does that sound familiar to you? These men did nothing but bash black women, and it was an arena of other black men who came out and did so too. We never bring up the videos of them. Listen, it took 10, 12 years for black women to come out and start speaking out against this, and now we have a revolution upon us. We never brought up the videos of them doing so. They're all over the internet right now. Even you are blanketly bashing black women for dressing, quote unquote, immodestly. Where are you and who are the people that you're looking at disenfranchised, disempowered women who are perhaps dressing for the attention of men that men love to see in that way? Instead of talking to your brothers about not getting with these women who are out there scantily clad, you're upset with the women for being scantily clad. This is what they learned how to do from male accolade. It's male approval that got women out there wanting to be able to get that attention, and they know what it takes. If you want some attention, you just pull this down low, pitch this up high, and here come the men a-running. But you don't talk to your brothers about rewarding that behavior, so that is the only way that some women can get men to pay attention to them. But you don't talk to your brothers about giving the average woman a chance, do you? The modestly dressed woman, you don't talk to your brothers about giving her a chance. No, because while the men are out there on their whole stroll, they like those scantily clad women. It's not until they start wanting to settle down that now they want a modest woman after they done built the world up with an army of women who were rewarded with attention for scantily clad and demoralizing behavior.
You would rather do is just say it and then act like the videos we do post about you aren't about your behavior, mannerisms, and character.
Who are you talking about, sir? Why don't you address those women directly? Why don't you say you, ma'am, if they even care about your point of view? But what you're doing is you're making a blanket video on the internet, housing all black women underneath your complaint, and then say, why don't you bring up the individual men who are really bashing? But then you're not bringing up the individual women. Why don't you go talk to those women?
Characteristics that we wish would change. And now here you are acting like a victim, crying to us because we're verbally telling you something. Now, I'll admit, some of us ain't shit, but most of us are. Chill out with the pity party.
See, so this is what I'm saying. This is why I don't understand why she came to the internet asking this foolish question. And to whom? What type of response did you think that you were going to get? What did we ever do? Girl, sit down. I mean, come on. I don't even understand why she's beseeching them for an answer about what black women did to them, when they are the perpetuators of most violence in our community against men and women. So come on. Anyway, that's it. I want to hear your thoughts below. I don't get it. I don't even see why she would open herself up to this.
Be a part of the live show with thousands of other viewers. Go to TonyaTKO.com/text and join the text notification squad and get a text whenever I go live. Support the show and yourself, and I'll see you on the next live broadcast.